I made this work of art for you, from me, from the bottom of my heart. Stay till the end, and through my eyes you will see this endeavor of mine, the love of every mother, their words lost in time. I wrote these 3 poems, and I'm speaking in rhyme. Continue walking with me through this journey of mine. These works are original, all 3 from me. A poem tells a story, like the beat of a heart, full of emotion and memories. So here I will start. I've been watching the echoes, and thoughts crossed my mind about what lies in the hearts of those most unkind. A world full of hatred, blinding hearts and poisoning minds. So we'll start at the bottom, and we'll work our way up. Hopefully it will lead you a bit further out of a rut. The first in our journey, now please bear with me. It's titled My Best Friend, My Hatred, and Me. They say happiness is kind, not joyful, not good, just a state of mind. Not once has it ever been a friend of mine. I have a best friend, one who never lets me down, from beginning to end, always there, always around. Harsh words are not bad, but the truth I just see. The truth no one says, no one but my friend and me. I don't care how they feel. What about me? They'd be this way too, if they see what I see. A world full of flaws, of fear and games, always an ultimatum, driven by shame. They say it's tunnel vision, but it's really quite nice. The comfort in this prison, this palace built of ice. Cold shoulders and blank stares, they just aren't me. I say the truth, how I see it, my best friend and me. No matter how much time passes, I see through the same glasses, while everyone slowly leaves. They weren't worth my time or effort, not for my friend and me. The end is drawing near, my best friend is here, and will never leave, forever by my side, my hatred and me. Though I can't erase hate, I can keep it at bay. This next one is titled, A Place to Stay. A long time ago in a land far away, there was a village. This was no ordinary place. In this land, the impossible things were possible. Every dream had a space. If you could imagine it, it was real. Dreams really came to life. It never rained without a rainbow. There was never a disaster. No one ever got sick. Every day full of laughter. Absolutely perfect. At the end of a street, in a cabin made of wood, there lived an old man. He was revered as a man of wisdom, courage, a man without fear. Before the perfect, there was chaos. Now you won't find any of that here. Everyone came to him when they had doubts or issues. He solved them with the blink of an eye, giving simple remedies and advice. Those people built the impossible village around him in thanks. It really was quite nice. The man was coming to the end of his journey. It took longer to wake up and harder to sleep every day. He found himself longing for the eternal rest, the one we all keep at bay. Even the display of joy children made brought him no comfort anymore. So he remained in his home, peering less and less at the wonder outside, barely opening the door. Food and water were left to keep him from having to venture far from more. Every morning it was full, and every evening it was empty. As the days passed, people started to notice the doors full of things from the day before. Piling up outside his home were gifts galore. People began to whisper, they began to stop and stare. After weeks, it seemed, people stopped leaving gifts. They stopped going there. A curious girl, aged 10 years or so, began to wonder where he did go. She wandered down his street to the end of the road, carefully stepping through the gifts and once even leaping like a toad. Up to his door she knocked just a bit, Just a tap on the wood gave space enough for her to fit. As if to say, "Come inside," she took the invitation and crept her way through. The house was tidy, well kept and neat. The floor well built, not even a creak. She continued onward, looking from room to room. Not a sign of life lingered. The bed made unslept in. The table clear, not a dish or a mug. Not a speck of dust on a shelf, or even a rug. As the sun bled through the window, something shiny caught her eye. A shiny red ribbon on a package nearby. Just above the fireplace it laid on the mantel, perfectly wrapped in brown paper no bigger than her hand. Under the bow, a label. It read, "For the one who finds this." She grabbed it and ran. The girl put it in her pocket, tucked it deep, held it close. To the door she fled, faster than a ghost. The night was setting as she made her way home. She waited patiently until she was alone. She took out the package and tugged at the bow. It fell to her lap and the paper soon followed. The package was a box. As she shook it, it sounded hollow. Her fingers followed the edges and pulled up the lid. Inside was a small folded paper that said, "Read this." She opened the paper and read what was inside. As she finished the letter, her eyes grew wide. It said, "To whom finds this page, don't worry, I'm not dead. I went on a journey to live the dreams in my head. I don't know if I'll return, so I'm leaving this here. For the one who entered in my home, I held so dear. I helped so many and they paid me back in kind. I watched them grow, live their dreams, and an idea entered my mind. I helped generations, but what did I do for me? I sat and I wondered, what could I do? A thought then sparked, it lingered, it grew. This thought led me to believe what I already knew. I needed to live life for me, though how little I have left. My life I shared, my life I never kept. So into the wilderness I will go, leaving this letter behind, packaged up and wrapped in a bow for someone else to find. Whoever holds this letter, my house is now yours. It's sturdy, it's deep, it's full of gifts galore. Don't waste your time, like me, watching life go by. Open the door and welcome life inside. My journey is mine. Don't wander, don't follow. Don't cry, don't grieve. I created my own hollow. Alone in this cabin, my hatred and me. The place for my heart, I created a hole. Don't create one for yourself. Let your love flow. Through the grass and the trees, through the forest and the leaves, through the kindness of your neighbors and the humming of the bees. I take my leave here, dear friend. I may see you again. Till then, take care of my house and live life without worry. Signed, a man who lived life in a hurry. She put the letter back in its box and left it on the kitchen table and went to bed. A smile spread across her face as she laid down her head. The next day she began living what she felt in her heart, first handing out the gifts that laid at her new home's door, then spending time creating memories and so much more. The man never returned. She didn't cry or weep. Still 30 years later, the words from that letter she did keep. Close to her heart and with every breath, she passed the words in the house on to the next one who crept through the open door to see the lady who lived life happily, with memories galore. The house stood firm, emitting a faint glow, as it was filled with love for others to show. This last one in this trio from me, from the bottom we went up, at least I hope this will be a glimmer of hope for the lost, as I've done my part. This next one is titled, "The Man Without a Heart." There once was a man who had no heart. He walked through life without a care. His soul and mind led him where Time had no meaning and life had no end. Down a long, crooked road, just around the bend. This place was his paradise, no one to tell him stay, no one to keep him late, no one to stop and stare just beyond his gate. The sun always shined, his belly always full. It never rained, so it continued, endless, day after day. After eons, it seemed, he did all the things you do alone, all the crazy big and little things. He sat and he pondered. Something wasn't right. Something was missing. Was it the night? Was it the stars or the moon? No, that wasn't it. Something rumbled inside. Something rumbled just a bit. Inside his chest he felt hollow. For the first time in his life, he wanted something. Something that wasn't there. Was it food? Was it thunder? He sat on the grass and did wonder. Did he grow bored of this place? Empty shelves, empty rooms? What could it be? Then into his mind an idea lodged free. Smaller than dust, it ran through his ear, off of his shoulder and into the air. It floated on its own, no need for wings. He said to himself, what a weird little thing. As they stared at each other, the idea and he, the idea began to shimmer, sparkle, and gleam. It flew from the man to the house and inside. The man followed it in just to see. This idea from him, what could it be? Off of shelves and through rooms it bounced and clattered, just out of reach until a window it shattered. Across the stream to the bend he followed this spark, up the crooked road and into a park. It landed on a bench. The man sat on it with glee. He shouted, now I've got you. You can't run from me. As he rose, the idea disappeared. He looked up the tree, then into the glen, saw a squirrel down the path, chased it down and then scratched his head. Where did you go? Said he. Excuse me, sir, are you talking to me? Said a lady with hair bouncing and bold. The sun caught her features and they glittered like gold. He said, I had an idea that got away from me. It sat on this bench and I looked up the tree. I thought the squirrel took it or it hid in the glen. What a funny thing to say, said the woman as she closed her book and put away her pen. You know, I was quite peaceful, said the man, quite content, till that idea led me here. For that I'm upset. Did you have friends where you were? Said the lady with a smile. A dog or a cat? None of that, my dear, said the man as he held his head. No worries, no doubt, no fear. Sit with me a while, she said. I don't have any of that here. So he sat and they talked as the day went away. As the sun began to set, his fears came to play. Follow me, he exclaimed as he jumped, but she stayed. Where are you going? The lady did say. You can't see the stars if you run away. The man was afraid but felt safe with her, an odd kind of safe like a kitten when it purrs. He sat and he watched as the light went away. For the first time in forever he saw the night sky. He sat there in confusion and he asked the woman, why? Why what? She replied. Why don't you run and hide? The man really wondered. How is she braver than I? The stars, the moon, what a beautiful sky, full of wishes and dreams, said she. Don't be afraid, you're with me. As they watched the sky dance, cloud came into view. The wind shook the trees, and the rain fell like dew. The woman stood up and danced as the rain touched her face. Suddenly he wasn't scared. He felt safe in this space. Why do you dance? He asked, beginning to grin. Why not? She said, and reached for his hand, barely touching his skin. Why not dance in the rain under the dreams in this beautiful land? He joined her as they twirled, his mind beginning to wonder. His fears unfurled. This land I fled, not a care in the world, ran from my fear. How is it that she could possibly want to be here? As if she heard his thoughts, she sighed. It's all how you see it, this world and I. We hold each other dear. Without the courage, there can be no fear. Without a smile, there isn't a frown. Without a way up, there is never a way down. With that, his chest filled with warmth and his eyes with tears. He grabbed her close and held her near. He kissed her cheek and said, I will hold this moment dear. The moon came through the clouds and shined down on them. The rain stopped and the clouds went away. In the middle of the night, they stood. They stayed. They welcomed the day and the morning dew, the man without a heart and a woman with enough love for two. Thank you all who came on this journey with me. Remember to try and always be loving, understanding, and kind. I'll see you soon for the next act. Remember, you're always more than you think you are. I know that for a fact. All my love, Mom.